First name Bed, last name Reviews. If you're just now tuning in, that's because it's the very beginning of the video. You're doing great so far. Let's keep this going. Can you feel this? Let's keep this momentum bubbling. The Good Witch debuted at #1 on the UK charts, not without begging. Pathetic.
But if everybody buys the album 5 times each, please, we're running out of time.
Jesus Christ. Absolutely revolting and pathetic. Now I know exactly what you're thinking, because Instagram stories are gone in 24 hours, but the record stating that Good Witch went #1 is there forever, you could get away with this. But what you fail to recognize is that I now have the ick. You're welcome, by the way. I don't always set them on the toilet, that's just like a place that was, I could use the counter, I guess. I'm just gonna be transparent right now, I love this little artist. I am overly familiar with the entire discography of this artist, and I know that you're thinking right now, who the fuck even is this artist? I didn't know this at first either. Maisie Peters is Ed Sheeran's protege. He brought her on tour to open for him, he writes with her, he lays backing vocals on her songs. Despite all that, she's kinda good. From what I've gathered, it's somewhere between she's his project that he's actively mentoring, and she's just one of many artists signed to a label that he owns. So he definitely has her hands in her, which is extremely inappropriate, and we are gonna fucking talk about this. She tweeted out a cover of Enchanted, and Taylor Swift herself called it heavenly. Which kinda sucks, cause that was exactly what she said when she commented on my video. This night is flawless, don't you let it go. I guess she just kinda says that. Then it happened again. My ears have been blessed on this fine Tuesday afternoon. Why are you talking like a fucking, I don't even know what that is. Then in 2021, she got signed by Ed Sheeran. Bad Habits Ed Sheeran, not like Ed Sheeran. It's funny because BedReviews knows Hoodie Allen knows Ed Sheeran knows Maisie Peters. So BedReviews and Maisie Peters might happen. I'm not saying I'm gonna make any promises, I'm just... Now would I get in bed with this artist? I mean, what do you mean? Welcome to BedReviews, where we have better views. Maisie Peters caught my attention with her debut album, You Signed Up For This. I didn't review it because, I don't know, what difference does it fucking make to you? There have been a handful of promising debuts that haven't guaranteed a phenomenal career. The sophomore album is maybe the more important project. Anybody can make fucking music. Taking a nap today, it might be a cat nap or a power nap, I haven't decided which I'm gonna take. Taking a nap today, I might have to take a cat nap or I might just fucking stay. I scared myself with that just then. You see an artist who's able to construct music. Now they have to find their voice, develop persona, lean into strengths, expand demographic, get comfortable with a couple styles, creativity gets tested because you can't redo the stuff you put your full power into on the debut, and if you don't have something to say by album 2, we can tell. If you fuck up album 2, welcome to the first day of the rest of your life as a starving artist who had a lucky fluke. I don't say that to scare anyone, I'm just saying, separate the girls from the women. Maisie Peters is Zooey Deschanel plus Carly Rae Jepsen. That's her swag. That's just her sauce. On a different note, some words to describe Maisie Peters. Neurotic, spiraling, self-flagellating, funny, self-aware, poetic, dramatic. Oh, and she loves melodrama. The album. This is an incredible work of art, and I love it. But never do this shit ever again. Like, she says it impacted her greatly, it's one of her favorite albums, and she listened to it while creating The Good Witch. So I guess I'm at the point where I'm reviewing albums inspired by albums I've reviewed. If this is anything like fucking melodrama, I'm gonna blow my shit out. Kinda cool though. So I sorta need that I've been here that long. Well, let's not get carried away and pretend that you haven't been totally absent all this time. Well, you post roughly once a year. Okay, are you fucking done? It's purely coincidental.
This album's interesting because there are very, very many Taylor Swift offspring who are now young enough to be her daughters who have studied the book of how to approach heartbreak lyrically. It's a solid formula, and we'll talk more about this in the Sour review. Maisie Peters respects and has a healthy appreciation for the formula, but will break the mold at her discretion. Artists like this, I almost feel something resembling what I imagine as remorse. As far as I know, she doesn't use her platform to try and push an agenda, seems responsible, looks sweet, clearly loves music. She made these songs and people enjoy them. It's almost like I'm doing a mean thing by reviewing it. Almost. This is an album I hold close to my heart. Now it's not. Now it is again. Why don't we just look at the track list? Step back. Boom! Or don't fucking step back. A good thing that you're fine, I guess. Maisie said this album's about the last year of her life. The truest reflection of my life in the past year. A collection of stories I've managed to capture in the past year. A true chronicle of my life in recent history. A diary album, we call that. Intro, this one's a breakup song. Another breakup song. Breakup song. Want You Back. This one's a tribute to the band. And then breakup song. Lost the, yeah. These next two are, well, the next three are about a relationship that ended. Breakup song, breakup song, breakup song. And then at the end, breakup song. So at this point, the song about the band is out of place. Unless it breaks up, you need to frame that one outlier around the breakup at that point. When I'm on stage, I don't think about the breakup. My band is here for me through the breakup. But not just, by the way, my band is cool. Anyway, back to the story. I'm not mad that you did a 13-track run on fucking Noah, whoever this guy's name is, Ben. I am not upset that you did 13 songs on just William. But I do have to say, you lost the breakup. You lost the breakup. Worst track, The Good Witch. It's a traditional intro, but it's low energy, it doesn't showcase her appeal, and it doesn't excite you for the album. I think album intros are vastly undervalued. It doesn't have to be a hit, so you can structure it. You can literally do whatever you could possibly imagine to make it something memorable, nostalgic, impactful, meaningful, package the album, recontextualize the album, bridge the previous and the current album, and a lot of these things, I see what Maisie was going for with this, but I think she may have gotten lost in the science of it, and y'all want to see strong tracks on the album. This one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. Let it soak in. This one. Best track on the album? This one. There It Goes is the healed wound song. It's the opposite of painting him bad or lying to yourself to get through it. This is her reward for being honest and vulnerable throughout the healing process. It's the light at the end of the tunnel that she earned through facing it head on. It's respectful to both how important that person was and how important she is. It's mature, it's real, it's catchy, and it captured this feeling of bittersweet triumph that's like, it was real, now it's over, I said my piece, I'm gonna be okay. These songs are pretty close in quality. The ones that aren't strong tracks aren't weak tracks, they're just, we're missing one or two too many pieces. They're all coming at relatable topics from specific angles. The great thing about a focused, honed in album about a topic versus a diary album is that with those 14 tracks on a breakup, you know it's gonna get detailed. I've listened to this thing many times. I've looked at the album cover so long that it looks weird. It just doesn't get old. And I think, unfortunately, the reason is her lyrics fly under the radar and they feel like a dream. They hit your ear like a regular line, but the closer you look, the less sense it makes. Your face in fluorescent looks different in the daylight. Like, was it a love affair or just a lot of late nights? Like, you had the speaking parts, but I guess I was the playwright. She determined what he did or said. She was only in love with an idea of him that she wrote of him. That's my guess. I can't help thinking, when you touched it, were you sorry? Were you sorry like you weren't at the time? What time? What's it? Was he unhappy when he touched Maisie? Unlike how he felt when he touched the other girl? Like, maybe I could sit down 5 hours and guess what this means, but it's just so nebulous. I was treading water till the minute we met, till you caught a teacher's daughter with a dangerous text. Significance of your mom being a teacher? Textbooks versus text messaging? Brick Lane in the brisk cold and red wine on his hip bone. Did she spill wine on that area of a boyfriend's body at some point? That is actually my best guess on that. I
kept it in, but it wrecked my organs. So pour the gin and call Graham Norton. I'm gonna throw you down the river. Your mom could watch it over dinner. Golden boy, you dropped the ball. I am Annie fucking Hall.
Interestingly, she knows how to land a verse better than any artist I've looked at. This is such a weird particular compliment, but it actually adds so much to music. Her strongest lyrics are the ending lines of her verses. I've mentioned before, those are the sticky parts. Or was it Shirthood that mentioned that? Artists know the opening and closing lines of the verse are the most memorable. They're flush up against the catchy parts, and some of that stickiness transfers. Of all the random artistic sensibilities to pick out of a witch's hat and be just awesome at, this is a fucking great one. Sit down for these. You left like an assassin, maybe that's for the best, because if you told me what would happen, I think I would have begged. So you got to be a coward, and I salvaged a little self-respect. That's the end of the verse? Woo! Are you shitting me? She said like 10 things right there. I could do a video probably just on those couple lines. You gave me the world, and you gave me your word. And hold on, you gotta actually hear this one, because this is the end of the verse, and you gotta just hear this.
You gave me the world. Sure, I don't know. She's your girlfriend, well fucking sue me. Cause at least then we could talk. You're still there.
These last two examples are so emblematic of Maisie Peters' spirit, and it's striking in just how unorthodox it is in pop music, this attitude. The way I loved you, I will not be embarrassed of that. Just should have known when to quit. You couldn't have loved a girl any harder than you loved me, so I couldn't ask any more. At least I had you for this long. That's the end of the verse. Like complete heart-wrenching lines at the end of the verse.
So I couldn't ask anymore. At least I had you for this long. Now you're gone.
Baby, I am the Iliad. Of course you couldn't read me. I've read the Iliad. The one where he fucks his mother and kills himself? You interrupt me one more time. I'm gonna. That's her? I will mush your in. Take you in the punch. Yeah. Punch you in the face.
How?
Kick you.
No way.
Yeah. Oh well, I have a million fucking ideas. I think about it all the time.
You would never. You don't.
You think I'm making a review? Do you think this is easy doing this? I will kick your head like a football thing and punch your face.
You wouldn't even know how to edit that.
What? As a woman in music. As a woman in music, it's assumed that my songs are always about me. Huh? What? Please don't do this. I'm not even gonna stoop this time. Please just stop. Don't fucking do this. Don't fucking do these. Like, stop. Don't. Please don't. Please don't do these. It is always superior to write by yourself.
You write all your own songs?
I do. I feel evergreen. The band go home, I stay to write.
But sometimes I feel like she just says shit and no one else has any fucking idea what the fuck it means. We don't speak cause it's too tricky, but if I'm tricky, why'd you kiss me? On the forehead, way up north. Pressed the scar and found the source. Like on her body, it's up north on her body, her forehead is. Were they somewhere geographically north? Cause this is a thing, she'll just say geographically where shit is. Like everybody pretends that they're great, but what if you actually might be? I don't know. Still Decoy. Still a good witch with her tea. Decoy Studios is an abstract name of a studio she recorded in. Still King's Cross and pulling heartbreak out of hats. King's Cross is a place in the real world in the UK where she has lived, but it's also where they shot Harry Potter, so there's a magic thing there. It's all stuff I gotta look up. I'm back in London. I'm running down Columbia Road. might as well say nothing. The difference between specific details being wasteful and being impactful is whether it connects to the listener. Still Decoy, King's Cross, Brick Lane, Columbia Road, the feeling these give is that I'm an outsider. At least with Columbia Road, I know that's her equivalent to some road that exists in my head as a memory or something special to me. But when you say Still Decoy, like you're Dr. Dre, I'm sitting here like a jackass thinking maybe she's putting a mask on, she's still hiding behind a fake persona. Like, when I'm writing my music, I'm not thinking about where that song is gonna go or who's gonna listen to it. I just do it to say what I want to say in the way that I want to say it, she said proudly.
Why would I want to sit and think?
This I do think is a balance. Don't be Macklemore, but don't be Lord. If it's important enough to you to say it, it's important enough for us to hear it. The witch theme is stirred in with consideration for the listener. It never takes up space or interrupts the flow of the album just to say witch things. It's always just flavor for ingredients that needed to be there regardless. I don't fuck with witchcraft. The good witch, I don't trust that. I light candles, arguably have a pointy hat, and I curse. That's about as far as me relating to this shit goes. But a well-written song can deliver all the power and emotion of an experience to listeners who haven't necessarily gone through it in their life.
Yeah, you don't have to personally relate to what a song is about to enjoy it.
I made mistakes before, so won't you please forgive me? Oh, baby, oh, my sweet little baby, I'll give you anything. Just ask me and I'll give it to you, baby. So won't you give me one more chance? Give me one more chance. Maybe not just a little bit. We can have an everlasting romance. Baby, 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 baby. Oh, to give you all of my love, all of my kisses. You're the one playing games. I don't wanna play no more. I don't wanna play no more. I got too many women and I don't wanna see them. Yes, come on. Ooh, baby, maybe not just a little. Turn me on over, turn me on.
Maisie Peters has a cute style that can overwhelm at times. I don't necessarily need to be seen listening to this. Fellas, this is a me time album.
By taking clowns like a one-woman circus. You're kinda awful, but you're not awful on purpose. Gave a two-word response when I was having a breakdown.
As far as word of mouth goes, Maisie Peters made sure that is... In the debut, Maisie Peters was British about 25% of the time. In this album, Maisie Peters is British about 62% of the time. I think she nailed the ratio in The Good Witch. In the debut, it felt like she was trying to hide it or something. Like, are you not supposed to be talking like what's going on? Was I not supposed to hear that part? Am I supposed to alert the authorities that this is happening? I mean, the whole thing just made me uncomfortable. But why can't we know? Why can't we know? There's a lot of character in her natural voice that she's allowed to come out this time. Lord's delivery. Fuck it! Forget it! One thing I gotta say is she cannot rap. She doesn't rap at all in this album or any of her prior work. There's a song called Batshit Crazy by Crazy Peters. She's like, it's so funny you think that I'm doing fine when I'm actually going insane.
It's funny and I'm laughing, baby. That you think I'm alright, but I'm actually bloody motherfucking batshit crazy. Roll me big time.
And there was a big missed opportunity to do a musical mental breakdown laugh with the last chorus. I think she's just not that type of artist, I guess. You broke my heart and my self-esteem for a girl who's a remix of me. Is she just like me? Yeah, I reckon. You got two types, country and western. I've heard breakup lyrics, she looks exactly like me. And I've also heard, she looks nothing like me. I think what you gotta do is during the relationship, go ahead and have the conversation. Here's how the next one is supposed to look. Go ahead and tell him. That way he can be sure to not betray you. Millennium baby, but you're pretentious, so you have a camcorder out of the 90s. Imagine unironically trying to create a nostalgic film feel for your video project. I mean, I agree. I just absolutely revolting and outrageous in this day and age to try some shit like that. Let's watch one of Maisie Peters' new music videos off of this album. They got the hits, I got the news. Welcome to Hits News. Sorry, got distracted.
We played heads up in a car in Seattle. Got a rock on the radio.
Whoa! Hold on! What year is this from? You fucking motherfucker. I want to know what year this is from. I'll be damned to hell if that's a industry grade state of the art 2023 edition of freaking camera with the fucking little flip thing.
I hope we never wake up.
I agree with that part. Couldn't help but notice this is kind of the pointiest of only a few disses that exist on this album. This was kind of the best she came up with to flame him. I mean, this is a love tap. It just shows like she really liked this dude. Christopher. We don't know his name.
Are you single?
That's not an appropriate question for the sofa.
Okay.
Yeah.
She writes in a lot of like Mickey Mouse type exclamations. Oh shit, oh man, oh damn, oh lord.
And oh shit, you lost the breakup. And I'm like, oh goddamn, not another rock star. Lord, I'm going back to therapy. Oh God, I'm in over my head. Bye bye from your girl, oh damn.
You remember when Mickey Mouse would go, oh shit, oh shit. You listen to this album a few times and you start to piece together the story and you realize the sound is kind of deceptive because it's actually kind of pretty sad of a story that's taking place. Not sad like dark or anything except for on Wendy, which that is randomly very dark. On one song, she low-key is like, he beats me. But no, you pick up on the lyrics that tell you this was actually real for her. You know, more than just album fodder. It was like genuinely sad. Stole her youth and promised heaven. The men start wars, yet Troy hates Helen. I didn't watch High School Musical. There's a weird kind of power to her character, embracing how vulnerable and pitiful she can end up. Like, it's like comfort with the pain. There's something more cold about it, the way she does it. Than if she just, because she chooses to put herself out there like this. Making a song saying, did you leave me because her body's better than mine? Which is a crazy, like, ego and pride would stop a person from doing this. So even on the first listen, you feel that energy a little bit where she goes to that place and makes like a fun song there. A lot of Halloween characters come up in this. Clowns, cowboys, ghosts, Batman, witches, Peter Pan. Found yourself a lover, I bet she doesn't sing. But baby, when you touch her, I bet she doesn't flinch. She'll have you every summer, and I only had you half of a spring. Wait, half of a spring? Was that like a month and a half? What the fuck? You got 13 songs on the... There's no way it's the same one guy. A true chronicle of my life in recent history. It's my own twisted version of a breakup album, and it all draws upon the same couple of months' worth of experiences and inspirations. So it is all the same, so it's one guy. The tragic loss of the love of her life and also low-key like abused her. No, it's about at least two different guys. In a couple months? And one of them was roughly a month and a half? She also says she's 20, 21, and 22 in this album. What the fuck is going on? What the fuck is going on? If you're doing some melodrama shit where you do interviews that say shit that clashes completely with the lyrics, I'm gonna have a meltdown. Why don't we just move? Why don't we? I don't want to spend too. Why don't? Yeah, let's. I mean, I don't want to have to go psycho. I don't want to go psycho. Maisie Peters. Maisie, you really don't want to see me go mother batshit crazy on you. I'm really a cool guy. It's just that sometimes people do things that make my body do things where I can't control them. When I'm in control, I would never do anything bad or hurt you.
Who is it that said this? Was it that Logic song? Who can relate?
No. There's some handmade moments here lyrically where she's just a young songwriter and she's authentic and keeps the writing process close to herself. Like when she leaves too much space before the chorus, so she has to fill it with the most random ad-lib ever, and then the phrase, "all I know is."
Gotta give it to the band, greatest one in Oregon. And looking back, all I know is it was Friday.
You know how you sometimes see a fruit or vegetable come out kind of fucked with a big lump on one side? That's just nature. Seedless watermelons sell better, but you're getting preservatives and carcinogens from the chemicals they use to genetically modify the crop. Is it worth it in the long term to defy a process that's adapted itself naturally for thousands of years? Personally, I think the seeds are cute and fun, and it's the way God intended the experience. She has a pervasive quirk where sometimes the structure just feels unstable and insane. I don't know if you'll get it from just a clip too, because you'll have to have an idea of the flow of the song to hear when it breaks.
And I'm spiritual cleansing. Is I'm good at pretending. Broke me big time. It's funny that I'm laughing, baby. You think I'm alright? I'm hurting, but I'm certain it's still true. I'm the best thing that almost happened to you. I know I am obsessing. Right now I might be a mess, but one day you're gonna wake up and oh shit, you lost the breakup. I smile.
It must be on purpose. After a handful of listens though, you forget it and become numb to it. I had trouble even remembering what were those parts that were so fucky. I wonder if that's what happens to her. Like she's like, something's weird about this, and they play it a few more times. She's like, I thought something was weird about this, but I guess not. She says she still has a problem with playing the black keys. You need to do some inner work. You need to look inward and confront what it is that gives you the feeling that you don't want to touch or go near the black presenting keys. Don't beat yourself up. It's something you picked up unconsciously, maybe from your parents when you were young, or from movies or from media. It's not you that is the problem, but you have a problem, and you need to fix it, okay? You do that for me? I'm proud of you, kid. Come on, let's go play some catch. What was I talking about? Some songs have harsher S's than others. What the fuck is this?
Didn't say it in those words, but I know how your tone works. Lost my page when you kissed me. She almost loses her way, cause she followed him after one look. By taking clowns like a one-woman circus. Your favorite two-word response. Nobody actually happy and healthy has ever felt so desperate to prove it.
See, this is some sucky stuff to see. Isn't there like a process in the mixing or mastering to make all the songs sound the same in the end? Nothing knocks your socks off, but it does the job very well, and it matches what Maisie Peters needs. Interestingly, the opener and the closer of the album both use the same melody.
Still me here. Do you think I forgot about you? Still upset, but now I'm 22. Let's call this. I've seen it in the poems and the sands. I've pleaded with the powers and their plans. I tried to.
The closer is about how timeless, unstoppable, inevitable heartbreak is in the big picture. All throughout history, this has plagued women, and the way it is written in stone and can't be changed. The opener is Maisie's heartbreak story beginning. So with this melodic parallel, she's basically saying, this is my story, but it's actually yours too. It's interesting how the whole good witch thing is about her taking the reins of her story and writing herself how she wants to be portrayed. But then in the very end, she still writes in that her whole story was always bigger than her. She even says, I tried to rewrite it, but I can't. She says, women's hearts are lethal weapons. Did you hold mine and feel threatened? Hear my lyrics, taste my venom, but you are still my great obsession. Sounds like a W for the boys, I'm not even gonna lie. But then at the very end of the album, she says, I beg you and you don't understand. I hold on, I try to hold your hand. I save you a seat and you say you want to stand. So you lose me, the best you'll ever have. That's the history of man. So the ultimate message of the album is just everyone be gay. Shit ain't working, then it's never gonna. Go ahead and start practicing some shit you've never done in your life. That's Maisie Peters' message. This album doesn't smack you in the head with a baseball bat immediately upon first listen, but every track puts a player on the bases till they start hitting in the park home runs on your ass. Probably biggest takeaway about Maisie Peters, she's funny, genuinely funny, which alone is a huge accomplishment in music. You think about Lil Dicky, the whole point was he's a funny musician and he wasn't funny once. And Maisie Peters is actually funny, like I laughed while listening to the music, without making a joke out of her story. She's smart without it coming off brainy, and she's poetic without it being pretentious. It's striking also how little vindictiveness there is in a breakup album. It's overall very respectful to the people who've loved her. The formula is 90%, well fuck you, I always hated you, and 10%, but you still hurt me. Maisie's album is a much more colorful pie chart of emotion that explores several destinations on the spectrum of experience you feel during a formative event like breaking up with someone you love. A cohesive, focused, energetic, thoughtful, fun, authentic beam of music that you should let shine into your bedroom and into your heart. This album is the closest I'll feel to the collective early 20s female experience. Maisie Peters is awesome. She's a hidden gem of pop. This album I'm proud to own. It's not going on the wall or anything, but I'm ecstatic to have it in the collection. Maybe next time. Now it's time for my favorite part of the night, bedtime. The good witch. No such thing. No such thing as a witch at all. Kazam!
What just happened? What did that do?